Good morning, and thank you for joining us for today's Legislative Affairs Virtual Town Hall with Director of UC Benefits and Policy, Susan Dickinson. Before we get started with opening remarks, I'd like to provide you with a few key points about today's virtual town hall format. The purpose of the call is to educate and provide training information to assist you in providing responses to your offices regarding the UC program. If you have any questions on today's topic, please use the chat window in Teams. Please include your name, the name of your legislator's office, along with your question. Unfortunately, due to confidentiality issues, please do not ask about specific individual UC claims. Please send them to us in an email and we'll provide a more detailed response. For your use, we will provide a link to today's recording and will include any follow-up to any remaining issues that we did not have an opportunity to address this morning. For your awareness, the call is being recorded. If you do not consent to being recorded, please hang up now. For your interest, the LegWeb queue is currently sitting at 55, with the oldest one in the system being yesterday at 9:52 a.m. So we are a little under 1 day's response time from the oldest one in the queue for being handled. And with that, we'll get started from comments from Susan.
Thank you, Kate. And along those same lines, I'm looking right now, we don't have any busy signals going on right now. So if you have anyone walk in your office this moment, they can call us and it won't be an issue. So things are a little bit quiet, but this is the quieter time of the year as we get later in the year until, of course, we hit the end of the year. So then it will be very busy once we get past Thanksgiving. The only thing I wanted to mention today, if any of you were trying to use chat late last week, you were probably experiencing issues, disconnection issues. Our chat system was not, our phone vendor was working on it. It was not functioning very well and it was disconnecting people. So that was resolved as of like Friday evening, like just right around like 5 o'clock or so. So excuse me, our chat function should be working for you this week, even if it wasn't working last week. And it's from all we can tell, it's all fixed and we haven't received any further complaints or anything about people being disconnected this week. So it should be fine. And that is all I have actually. No other announcements. So we'll see if anyone has questions. Thanks, Kate.
Absolutely. And once again, please remember, if you do have a question, you might not be the only one with this question. Please feel free to put it in there so that someone listening to this conversation or this recording later on will have an opportunity to have they probably will have the same question you do, and it will provide them with a great service because they were not available at this time to do so. It's going to be a short meeting, guys, if you don't have any questions for us today. Susan, is there anything upcoming that you're aware of with the system that we might be implementing, or any changes or anything that might be coming down the pipe in the next couple months?
Nothing specifically. I know the fall is usually when the company does their big update to their entire system, not specifically the unemployment system, but they'll add other features and things every year. They have a conference every year for all of their customers, and that's where we get input into like what we'd like to see in the main system. So not like the detailed stuff that applies to your state necessarily, but like they're looking for the big stuff that would help everyone. So we give that feedback, and then the following year is when we might see some of that stuff. So I don't know what they're planning for this year. Usually it's in October sometime. They'll send something out ahead of time to tell us, but I haven't seen anything yet. We were at the conference a couple months ago. It was back in June, where they were showing some things. A lot of it does pertain to their workforce side. but we're still we'll keep looking out for things that might help the unemployment side as well.
So here and listen to crickets chirp on the far end. Folks, any general question would be appreciated at this time. And thank you very much, Gina, for the first question of the day. Gina from Senator Kim's Ward's office. If there would be a significant uptick in unemployment numbers, is there a potential plan to increase staff or procedures to help claimants? Thank you.
Well, when unemployment starts to rise like that, usually Congress are the ones to act and give us more money so that we could then hire more people. So we would have to wait for them to provide the money. It's unfortunate that the entire unemployment system, when it comes to funding us on the administrative side of things, it's always reactionary. It's never proactive. So they would wait to see those numbers start to rise and then have us hire people. And then of course, they're new, they don't know how to do stuff. So it's the time to hire the people. You need the money first, and then you got to wait a few months to actually bring the people in the door. Then you have to train them for a month or two and then get them out there and they're still new. I mean, it's never a fast thing, especially when you have such a complicated program and such a reactionary method set up for funding and getting people in. But at all times, behind the scenes, we're always trying to make processes better. And, I think, it's a little bit of a challenge when you have a system that isn't yours. Like, we didn't design it, we don't own it, like it does belong to someone else. And we try to make things as best as we can with changes. And, the company makes a lot of changes that we request. They may not make them as quickly as we want. They may not always make them the way we envision them, but we try system changes on one hand, and on the other hand, we have internal processes and things like that we're always trying to make better and automate more, so that we don't need to have so much hands on every piece of work for times like that, because we know that we're an underfunded government program, as many are. So we're completely aware of that, and trying to make things as easy and simple as possible. So it's an ongoing thing, and it's an ongoing thing to teach staff that too. It's funny because the other bureau director and I were very continuous improvement minded, and it just kind of comes naturally to us, and that's just the way we think. Not everyone thinks that way. So when I'm trying to teach my staff how to think that way and do those things, it's not easy. And you got to give a lot of feedback, and they still might not get it. So it's a constant staff training thing, and a constant, battle to always find those little things that you can do to make processes easier.
Just out of curiosity, just in the final follow-up on that, approximately how long would it take for us, if we got the approval, stand-up time, to get the postings listed, to get the selection process through, and possibly have new bodies start to drop into seats to handle issues for UC? What kind of time frame are we typically looking at like that? About 2 to 3 months, 3 to 4?
Yeah, I mean, it usually takes several months. I would say good turnaround time would be about 3 months.
Okay.
And it all depends on, we've seen issues where, for some technicality, and again, we're not the HR crew. We don't do the actual postings. I mean, obviously we work with them, but there's all this stuff on the civil service end of things where things have to be just so. We've seen it where postings will go up, but then for some technicality, they're going to have to be posted again, or, so those little things happen. But I mean, if everything goes well, we get all the candidates. One of the biggest struggles when it comes to interviewing and hiring is scheduling the interviews, honestly. The rest of it isn't that big of a deal. But HR, they're the ones who look at people's credentials. They look at their, what they put on their resume and double check things. And I mean, they're the ones who do that hard work to figure out who's actually qualified. When it comes to you may have heard of the METs, and those are the requirements that people have to meet for any job in the Commonwealth. They have to meet what the METs put forth. So if it says you need a year of customer service experience, our HR people have to vet everyone who applied for that job and make sure they have that year and then provide their name to us as someone who can be interviewed, and then we have to schedule all the interviews. It's just a long process. Usually when we're hiring for the interviewers, so it's a whole bunch of positions at once. It's a lot of people. So you're talking about well over 100 people sometimes applying for maybe 20 positions. So it depends on the size of the positions, whether we're posting for 20 or 40 or 100 or whatever. But it takes a couple months just because it's a high volume, and they do have to check all those things. You know, we kind of joke sometimes that they just want warm bodies, but that's not true. They actually do check everyone's credentials, and they reject plenty of people who may not have, they may not show in their resume that they have a year of customer service experience. They'll reject them. So it is a process on their side, and then on our side, we have to schedule and do the interviews, and that can be very time consuming.
Fantastic. Emma from Senator Moot's office. Besides the chat function issue that was solved, are there any other technical issues that constituents may run into?
Right now, I'm knocking on wood. Right now, everything seems to be settled. I think part of the chat issue was we did just move to a new platform. It's the same company, the same telecoms company. They're called Genesis. Commonwealth has been using them for, I don't even know how many years now, 5 years, something like that. We've been using them a long time, and they upgraded their platform that they use. So we moved everything to a new platform last month. Things have been all right. There was problems with Pat filing all throughout July, and though that finally got solved. Actually, Kate and I were just talking before everyone got on. Kate was talking about an issue with earnings, so I have to go back and look at that. Other than that, I've not heard of any issues with Pat lately, so Pat should be okay. So chat was the other thing that was going wrong. The actual phone calls to staff, those seem to have been fine. We haven't, experienced any call center issues. When we had an issue, oh yeah, we had that outage last week. Was that, I forget which day that was, Wednesday. We had that issue last week with with our claim system being down. It was just for maybe like an hour and a half or something like that. That was our vendor, the place where they have their servers and stuff, had a power outage. So anyway, that was what that was all about. The phone system was still fine because it wasn't our power outage. It was the vendor's power outage for the system. So the calls could still come in, but we couldn't really help anyone with their claim because we couldn't get into their claims. So that was unrelated to the phone system upgrades and things like that. It just was bad timing that all these things were happening at the same time. So right now, again, knocking on wood, everything has been fine and seems to be going okay. And like I said, the volume's low right now, which is helpful. So we're experiencing a good time to like kind of get ready for the busy season, try to clear out any old reasonable assurance things we have sitting around, because that was always the June spike when all the schools let out and we have some people applying who aren't eligible. So this is good cleanup time, and then we'll get into the fall, hopefully with no technical issues.
With that. All right. Well, give everybody another moment or two to see if they have any other questions to ask, given what we just discussed, or anything else that may pop into mind, and see how that goes. So if you've already asked a question, you are of course welcome to ask a second, third, fourth, 17th question. If you have them, ask them, and if you don't, we'll give you all a moment here and just make sure nobody else has any other valid questions that they wish to ask. All right, seeing no further questions, Susan, thank you very much for your time today. Nice, merciful, short one. And we will look forward to meeting everybody again in 2 weeks from now. And hopefully it will be another short one as well. But if anything develops or comes up, you guys are welcome to, of course, reach out using the LedgeWeb system for simple questions or requests for contact for your constituents. You're welcome to reach out to the staff if you have any more complicated issues, and we'll be glad to take a look at it and see if there's something else we can find out for you, and try and give it some of the attention that it needs. And please remember, as a general reminder, if your folks have opened up an unemployment claim in the last 1 to 2 months, they have still not received payments. If they have any kind of investigation taking place, we are within the normal time frame for those to be reviewed, and we are not at a point at that stage to be able to push or bully UC into expediting anything, because that is a normal time frame for them to accomplish their business. If it starts dropping into longer than 8 weeks, then let us know, and we'll be glad to take a look at it and see if there's any extenuating circumstances preventing it from being resolved. And with that, we look forward to seeing everybody in 2 weeks. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.